मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद सलवात صل على محمد وآل محمد
الثالث على حب صاحب العصر والزمان.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين خالق الخلائق أجمعين باعث الأنبياء والمرسلين، ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء سيد المرسلين حبيب إله العالمين القاسم محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
واللعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم إلى قيامة يوم الدين. أما بعد، فقد قال الله في محكم كتابه وقرآنه المجيد وقوله الحق. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وما تفرقوا إلا من بعد ما جاءهم العلم بغيا بينهم، لولا كلمة سبقت من ربك إلى أجل مسمى لقضي بينهم، وإن الذين أورثوا الكتاب من بعدهم لفي شك منه مريب. آمنا بالله، صدق الله العلي العظيم.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله
We've reached the third and final night of our majalis of Ayame Fatimia. Don't look too happy, it is still days of mourning, just because I'm going to be gone and you'll have to hear from me again. It's not that happy. So I first of all send my condolences to the Imam of our time, and from the top of the list, from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa to Amir al-Mu'mineen, to Imam Hassan, to Imam Hussein, to each of our Imams on this tragic shahada of Sayyidat Nisa al-Alameen, Fatima Zahra salam
اللهم صل على محمد وآل
Over the last two nights, we've looked at how can we learn from Fatima Zahra as well as Sayyidah Khadija in our lives today. That was night one, where we looked at being an anonymous person in your khidmah, in your amal, in your ibadah, and leaving the ajr ala Allah, and not looking for thawab in dunya. Then we looked at whether this has happened before at some capacity or another in history. And that's where we looked at the story of Samiri. Tonight, I want to frame the discussion in terms of our modern day masajid and related back in time in history, and how we should resolve conflicts, and how we discuss differences of opinions amongst each other, as well as with people from other schools of thought. And so the ayah that I recited in the beginning of my majlis is from Surah Ash-Shura, ayah number 14, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, بعد أن أقول أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وما تفرقوا إلا من بعد ما جاءهم العلم بغيا بينهم ولولا كلمة سبقت من ربك إلى أجل مسمى لقضي بينهم وإن الذين أورثوا الكتاب من بعدهم لفي شك منه مريب. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that these people, whoever the referents are over here, did not fall into disarray, into discord, until ilm came to them. So there are two main communities. Everybody here knows them. Unfortunately, I don't see really anybody underneath the age of 10 who I could quiz. I saw many of them earlier today for the Sunday school program. But I would ask them, what are the two cities that Rasulullah preached his message in? Of course, the answers that I would receive back would be Mecca and Medina. Mecca and Medina could not be more different from each other. Mecca has no ta'aluqat with Risala before Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There is absolutely no one who has come to their grandfathers, to their fathers, لِتُنذِرَ قَوْمًا مَا أُنذِرَ آبَاؤُهُمْ فَهُمْ غَافِلُونَ. Surah Yasin. Mecca has every right, when you think about it, to be able to come and say, what is this? We've never heard of anything like this. We have so many different idols and so many different gods. That when Rasulullah comes and says, eliminate all of these idols, worship only one God, clean out the Kaaba, put some clothes on while you do ihram, and while you do tawaf and sa'i and all this, they have huge differences of opinion. Not only from an aqidah point of view, where these are everything that our grandfathers and our fathers and our older brothers and sisters, everybody has been on this millah. Why are you asking us to change everything now? So there's that aspect. But the second aspect is that these idols provide an economic income to Mecca. Look, Mecca doesn't really have much to boast. It's not like Hawaii or like San Diego or it's not like Florida or the Caribbean or Mecca is a couple of mountains here and there and it's desert. And even right now, with all of the architecture that there is, all of the beauty, it's still really, really hot. No one goes over there for tourism. Even for, okay, forget about Mecca, Medina. The few people who go for tourism are those few YouTube video bloggers who come and they're like, well, 1 week I'm going to be in Pakistan, the next one I'm going to be in Turkey, the next one I'm going to be in Iraq, and today I just so happen to be in Medina. Mecca is not a tourist destination. Mecca doesn't have, at that time or today, much going for it for its economic thriving. So when people come for the Hajj season to come and see their tribe's gods, that's everything. All trade that comes into Mecca comes in because of those gods. So when Rasulullah suggests this can't happen any longer, you need to, do tabarra of these idols, there's going to be a lot of, very hairy situations. Not everybody's going to be like, where do we sign up? I'm ready to go and listen to you, someone who was my neighbor for 40 years, and everything you say, everything that you do is now hujjah and wajib upon me. Just tell me where I sign up. Nobody's lining up at Rasulullah's doorstep. So that's Mecca. Medina, however, is completely different. Medina invites the Prophet over, thinking, not only can he solve our age-old dispute, right, between Aus and Khazraj, right? But this guy's also the Prophet of God. He can go and really make Medina into something. And of course, he really put Medina on the map. He made it from Yathrib into Medina, and now everybody knows Medina. But Medina has a different problem. Medina has seen the Torah before. It has seen the Injil, or at least whatever versions of those two books are still left in Medina. And And they know what a divine messenger looks like. And so their problem is something else. They have too much knowledge. This is why the surah comes and says, وَمَا تَفَرَّقُوا إِلَّا مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا جَاءَهُمُ الْعِلْمُ. See, now that they have knowledge of what revelation is supposed to look like, they have this superiority complex. That why would God go and choose you and not me? And this, brothers and sisters, is something that we see even in our day-to-day lives, actually. Let me give you some examples. And I hope that to some extent or another they hurt. Because when it hurts, that's when we take it to heart and then we start to implement change. So for example, you might have two physicians, two doctors. One doctor has white in his hair, white in his beard. Okay, he has been practicing since before doctor number two even got to medical school. Before he even got to high school. He's like, look, I've been a doctor for 40 years, 50 years. You, Baba, you've just gotten out of medical school, right? I think I see a little bit of peach fuzz over here, and that's it. So when you come over here and my patient wants a second opinion, you just kind of, keep a little bit quiet. Or if he does go and get a second opinion from him, they're like, yeah, but what kind of opinion does this guy have? He doesn't know anything. Yeah? Ilm did this to that first doctor. You might see this in education, where one professor doesn't even want to hear it from another professor. They're like, oh, I have a PhD. That means they don't want to hear anything that their colleagues might have to say. Any difference of opinion in how history happened, in how the mathematical equation is supposed to go, theoretical stuff. Right? Engineers, right? Someone who's a senior level doesn't want to hear what the director has to say because he has some kind of cha-cha or something like that who's giving him the job anyway. What does he have to go and contribute to the grand level of to the grand science of engineering? Right? I have patents, I have this, I have that. وَمَا تَفَرَّقُوا إِلَّا مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا جَاءَهُمُ الْعِلْمُ. After ilm came, that kind of soured everything for them. And why? Allah Ta'ala sums it up in one word. It's the next word, and we'll look at this word a little bit closely. And that word is baghi. صلوا على محمد Baghyan has three different meanings. We'll look at all three of them. The first meaning is hasan, basically, that there's some kind of jealousy going on, that there's some kind of, well, why did he get that job? I didn't get that job. Everyone is on the same page with me what hasan is? He shouldn't have gotten it, I should have gotten it. Yes, it's not exactly jealousy, but it's, I don't want it for him. I want it for myself. It's not he got it in trouble, I get it too. Why did he get it? That's definition number one. Hasan. Definition number two is ego, which is exactly what I just went to display to you over here with the few examples that I just brought forward, right? That I have been, such a great practitioner in my field. How dare this newbie come and tell me what to do? And I'll tell you what, this happens sometimes in our families and even on the minbar. Let me give you some examples in the family. Now, for some of my older, on the kursis and on the chairs generation, yes? If your parent came and said something to you, khabardar, God forbid, if you went and responded back to Baba, if you disagreed with this opinion. La ilaha illallah. If you responded to dad, like I'm looking at all of my elders over here. If you guys responded to your dad, you knew that was going to be qiyamah, right? Or it was going to be one of the major signs of the dhuhr, right? Or you would, inshallah, meet the rest of the Ahlul Bayt in Barzakh, right? That's what's going to happen. You don't talk back to your parents. This generation, mashallah, oh, no. Baba, why did you lie to this person on the phone? Baba, why did you say that you're not home? Why did you say that you're praying? I haven't seen you pray in 5 years. Yes? Kids these days, aaj kal ke bache, all these, the comments that generation makes, yes? And now I'm looking to kind of the people who are sitting down here. You guys know, both sides know, the sides of the equation. And I know where you guys think this is going. You kids shouldn't talk to your parents like that. And throughout this discussion, I'm going to temper it with, look, both sides need to come towards the middle, and there's something going wrong here, something's going on here. First of all, kids, not exactly the most akhlaqi way to talk to your parents. Talking to everyone from, millennials onwards. It's not the best way to go and talk. And I point the finger to myself before I point it to you guys. But now I look to my elders. This generation may have something right. And that's what scares us, isn't it? This is why we don't want to send them to Sunday school. Because if they learn something and they come back and try to teach it to me, who do you think you are? 2 foot 2 inch, trying to tell me 6 foot 2 inch. Trying to teach me what religion is, trying to teach me what Ahlul Bayt had to say, trying to teach me what this and that and what not is. But that's the reason why we try to go and send them to Zainabiyya in the first place, yes? To the Imam Barga. That they go and surpass us, so that they learn. And then inshallah they can come and teach us. Maybe without the attitude. But we have to go and start to self-introspect and see, is there something actually that I should not have been doing? And did I maybe overreact when they came and told me this? Is everyone on the same page? That sometimes someone who you don't expect to be learning religion from teaches you a lesson. Sometimes on the minbar, it goes the opposite way. Malana, where did you get this hadith from? Here's the book. Here's the chapter number. Reference. Here you go. Malana, in my 82 years of attending majalis, I've never heard this hadith. I think you should go and check your sources. Whoa, check my sources. I can pull up the book for you right now if you want. If you really want, we can do this. Baghyan. Definition number 2. Wait, sorry, hold on. Definition number 1. What's definition number 1? Okay, someone listen. Now everyone's going to remember because you said it, not because I said it. So, inshallah, the ajr also goes to you. Definition number 2 is what? Ego. Definition number 3, and pay attention very closely over here, because this one is kind of interesting. It's a plant, it's a fruit that refuses to mature. I'll say it again. Definition number 3 of baghi or bagha or baghiyan, all of these have common roots, is it's a plant or a fruit that refuses to mature. Meaning, it's overly rebellious. It has too much mustaqi. It has too much ghurur. And it can't take anyone else being an authority over it. It will dictate its own terms. And mashallah, that second generation, right? That other generation that I said it's all sitting on the ground. We have many of those. Whether they're in our community or in other communities, again, I'll point the finger to myself before I point it to anybody else. Yes? We all have improvements to do. Here, this plant that refuses to mature, this is a lot of times what happens in religious circles. You might have an alim who, because his amama is, it looks like it has its own orbit, and he's been in the hawza for 30 years. He's so close to his ijtihad. He's close to finishing Bukhari. Okay. Now someone goes and asks him a question. He hasn't been outside of the hawza for like 20, 30 years. Now he comes to America, where of course the youth have questions. Who does this person think he is? He's asking me questions and this and that and whatnot. This person hasn't Islamic understanding of education. See, the Western idea of education is just learn, 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 learn. Right? Go to the hadith books, go to everything is online. Just read everything for yourself. Islam's understanding of education is ta'aleem and then, anybody? Tazkiyah. That what you learn should also be purifying your heart. It should also be making a difference in you. It's not just in 1 year and then it's there in your filing cabinet so that you can go and just quickly end debates. And then you become the local Wikipedia. Hey, what should I go and say to this person next time he goes and gives me this? No, no, no. That's not what religion was for. That's not why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent this beautiful religion to go and لِيُظْهِرَهُ عَلَى الدِّينِ كُلِّهِ وَلَوْ كَرِهَ الْمُشْرِكُونَ. That's not why he sent it. He sent it so that you and I take this to heart and attain his reward. See, there's an interesting concept, and I'll link this to Fatimia. We try and struggle to get the pleasure of Allah. But the Ma'sumin, do we ever say on their names, radiyallahu anhu? Do they need to go and work hard to get the pleasure of Allah? La. The reason that they're chosen is because Allah is radi with them. He's happy with them. So now what's their struggle? Pay attention very closely. Their struggle is to be happy with Allah's continued happiness. You're allowed to go and shake your head or nod your head or shake your head in no if you don't understand. I'm willing to sacrifice a few more minutes to go and make sure everybody's on the same page. So let me know. If I see nods, we can move on. If I see shaking of the head, I'll elaborate. Okay, someone has said. So, we, the sinful people that we are, we come to Allah and we're like, Ya Allah, look at how hard I'm trying. 5 times a day. I didn't even go and pray Dhuhr and Asr together. I prayed Dhuhr separate. Awwal waqt. I prayed Asr separate. I prayed Maghrib separate. I prayed Isha separate. Are you happy with me now? We are trying to attain happiness. But Allah is already happy with Ahlul Bayt. So now, Allah will go and say, you're happier. You know what would make me even happier? Ya Aba Abdullah? Your 6-month-old son. You know what would make me even happier? Ali ibn Abi Talib? This is something that all schools of thought know. We know this from the Quran. When Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, is he someone who deserved a test? Deserved a punishment? He's been asking all of his life for Ismail. And then Allah says, Ibrahim gets the message and he says to his son, Inni ara fil manami anni fanzur madha tara. قال يا أبت افعل ستجدني إن شاء الله. I will go and do whatever it is to go and make Allah happy with me, and I understand that you will be making Allah even happier. Brothers and sisters, these trials, the Ahlul Bayt, the prophets, the Imams, they've all understood. These are all, they're just over here in this temporary little dunya. We all survive and get to the akhirah anyway. It's just the angels and Allah are all watching to see how will they react. Will they do something wrong against Sharia? Or will they just do everything that's been done before them and do monkey see, monkey do, and follow the path of Ahlul Bayt? Honestly, brothers and sisters, we have such an easy path. 250 years of seerah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We have 250 years of public we still find it hard. We're like, I don't know if Ahl Bayt understood this, what I'm going through. Trust me, they went through tons harder than you are right now. Again, that plant that refuses to mature, that thinks that you have to do everything on your own, that what you do is your way or the highway, then what my understanding is what Islam says. And if I agree with something, then God automatically agrees with me. And if you disagree with me, cancelled. Don't come to my mosque again. If you don't do things the way I do it, go find your own tribe, go find your own people. If you don't agree with me and how I do things, go do things your own way. When Rasulullah comes to Mecca, he says some of the most offensive things possible to the Meccans. But how does he say it? Love, with rahmah, with care. After all, he says it with the utmost care. It's from the same mouth that the Quran will come and say, يطوفون بينها وبين حميم الآن فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان. That same mouth is the one who says, Salaam alaikum. Can I help you with this or that? You all know the ayah, عزيز عليه ما عنتم بالمؤمنين رؤوف رحيم. Why aren't we like that? بالمؤمنين رؤوف رحيم. You know, the Quran has such high expectations of us. It's something when Mecca completely just deals with Rasulullah the way that they do. They're jahil. They have, for God's sake, they have someone who's named Abu Jahl. I understand when he treats Rasulullah like this. I would understand if he treats Shajarat al-Nabuwa like this. Medina, however, should know a little bit better. People who claim to be Muslims. What do you want me to say, brothers and sisters? I expect that after 23 years of Rasulullah training them, of Rasulullah being a living, look, you and I are at a disadvantage. We don't have an imam even here to go and show us how Islam works in the flesh. They have the Prophet of God. They have Rasul al-A'zam, Muhammad ibn Abdullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. And yet, these people who call themselves Muslims, all three of them, say them with me. What's definition number one of Baghiyan? Baghiyan definition number one is hasad, jealousy. Is there or is there not some kind of jealousy that we can find even in Ahl Sunnah's books? Yes, there is. We can't allow prophethood and khilafah to be from the same family. No. We have to stop to this. We have to make sure that we also get some share, some, a little bit of kickback here. We suffered too. It can't all be for them. Definition number one is what? Jealousy. There's only so much that you can say. And I know I'm dealing with an intelligent crowd, and in 2023, everything is available. But again, Islam's understanding of education is not that you just download the information and you never do anything with it. People all the time, they come and ask me, I want to give me a book to read. Okay, here, read this book. Read, for example, Quran. No, Quran, everybody reads. Okay, fine. Read, for example, Risalat al-Quran. No, Risalat al-Quran, it's not really, for me, it's not what I'm looking for. Okay, fine, read Nahj al-Balagha. Nahj al-Balagha is nice, but, okay. So do you have these books at home? Yeah, I have these books at home. So then why don't you start with those? Then we can go into a little bit of, other people and what they have to think about, compare them to Ali ibn Abi Talib in the philosophical sense, scientific sense. We can discuss those. I'm ready. Are you ready? You're not at that level yet that we can even, continue a conversation. The conversation will look embarrassing. And yet, they don't want to go and Definition number two of baghi. What is it? Ego. How many times in Rasulullah's own life? Surah Al-Hujurat is one great example. Surah Al-Fatih, which we all analyzed while I was here on this minbar in Shahr Ramadan, the previous one that just passed. How much ego? Forget about hasad. There's no hasad involved in Hudaybiyah. There might be hasad, by the way, when Talha, for example, comes and says, Muhammad has taken all of the women for himself. After he dies, we'll go and marry some of them. This is why, by the way, Quran had to come and say that the azwaj of the Nabi are like your they're like your mothers. You can't go and marry them. It's not a spiritual, it's a legal thing. You can't marry them after Rasulullah. There's hasad. But in Hudaybiyah, for example, ego. A couple of people come up to Rasulullah and they're like, aren't you the messenger of Allah? Yes, yes I am. Didn't you say we would be going to Hajj this year? Yes, I did. Well, then what's all this? Why are we giving back Abu Jandal? Why are we giving back any Muslim that comes over from Makkah to Medina? What is this? What kind of dillah is this? He almost said the famous line, and Imam Hussein would have had to go and repeat it from him. Hey, min al-dillah. Thank God he did it. We got to hear it from Imam Hussein. But this ego is a sickness. And we need to, look, brothers and sisters, we can hate these personalities, right? The Khulafa, Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Muawiyah. We can hate them all we want. If we end up going and doing the same things at a micro level in our own lives, guess what? That la'na has a rebound effect too. It's like a boomerang. You might be reading Quran, and Bani Israel is like this, it's like that, Allahumma la'anhum, oh my God, and yet you're doing the same thing. Fir'aun is doing this, that, and the other, and then in the privacy of your own house, you're a miniature little Fir'aun. Read the Quran in such a way that it's not just, you're not trying to reach an end into the Quran. You're not trying to reach the maximum number of ayahs. You're trying for the maximum number of ayahs to reach inside you. How about that? If you did that, then the la'nah doesn't come back towards you. You might be reading Quran, and Quran's like, you're not getting a thing from me. You might be reading Nahj al-Balagha, and Imam Ali is like, you fool. I wish that you read with a little bit of hudud, with a little bit of intellect. Right? It's above Imam Ali alayhi salam to go and say Ahmad, but I'll say it. Right? That some of us, we are like gadams. We're like donkeys. Literally the donkeys of Surah Al-Jumu'ah. We're holding on to these books. Beautiful. Books that